This is Talk to Tolu Toro. My name is Tolu Odubanjo. We come here once in a month to, rub minds about what is going on, about our health, about education, different topics. There's a question here, Reverend. This question is very, very okay. This person said, my son of 22 years is planning to get married. We can't get him to reason with us. He moved out last week, visiting his apartment today. We are still dealing with the shock. The place is like heaven on earth. He wants to get married before the girl moved in with him. We are not ready. As a parent, they said we are not ready. He put it in a capital letter, and says he is a very good son. Lastly, the girl is white, a 24 years old. We only moved here 5 years ago. They are parents in Diaspora as well. What is your advice, Reverend? Your fatherly granddad advice?
Well, I think my approach to my own children and my household is very interesting. Interesting in the sense that I brought up my children to be independent without helicopter parenting them, right? So I brought them up to make their decisions, to make their mistakes. I will be there and to learn alongside with them. I cannot be their God. I can only be their father. And what the father will do is to advise. And then if you say that's what you still want to do, my job is to go along with you because of the love that I have for you, as long as you are not going to get yourself into trouble, right? But to totally, overwhelmingly be in a place to control you, as this is what you should, or this is what you should not, I think I should respect it to some level of responsibility and accountability, because we are all children of God, and that is so important. They are also children of God, just like I am. I'm a child of God, they are also a child of God. God will look after them just like God will look after me. But for me to take the place of God is absolutely wrong. So if I have a son that wants to get married, I'll be too happy, because I want to get you out of my life so quick, so fast. So to go and just have, but I will sit down with you and talk through with you what it means, how it is. Me, I believe in conversation. I don't believe in fear. I don't believe in threats. I don't believe in intimidation. I don't believe in oppressing you. I don't believe in dominating you. I don't believe in making you feel like if you don't do my wish, you don't need to you don't need to be me. You are individual, right? And I'm individual. If I look at myself, even my own, I've been married now for 33 years. You won't believe that I gave my own parents 1 week notice. My wife and I, we give our parents 1 week notice. And I remember my mom say, over my dead body, you will never ever, but me that I'm doing something well. And did we get married? Yes, we did. 33 years later, we're still happy. So oftentimes we want to impose on our children our own desire. By ignoring their own desire, what they want to do. Will they make mistake? Without any shadow of doubt. All my children have made mistake. Please, what do you always say when I say something to you? You say your dad is all, what did I say to you?
Oh, what?
I say your dad is always right, isn't it? When you want to say something.
Oh, yeah. What, when you come back and say...
When you want to do something,
no, you find me. Oh.
I say you always come back to your dad.
Oh, yeah, you find me where I'm...
Yeah, I say, I want to do something. I say, don't do it. You say, dad is right, whatever. And then, I always say to you, I am here.
Yeah, you'll find me here.
What you are doing is wrong, but I'll be here. And then you always come back. So he has come to a place now that when she wants to do something, I will say to her, do you remember? You say, Dad, you are always right. There's no point in trying. You'll always be right. Why? You must allow them to make their mistake, but don't drop them. Go along with them. Because it is in that mistake that they're going to learn. And it's that experience they're going to use to teach their own children.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Let me quickly chip this in. I remember my children went to school where the only black kid in that school when they were in primary school. And when they moved to high school, only black kid, except for very few mixed race. And then my son asked me when he was in year 6, he said, Mommy, do I have to marry a brown girl? And in my head, I'm like, why is this boy asking this? Looking at it, there's no brown girl in the school. I said, no, you don't have to, but you have to marry a good girl. You know what we want. That's what I told him. So please,
yeah.
Thank you so much for shedding light on that question. I hope that person, understand, and God will give you wisdom, and please pray for them and believe in them. Yeah, somebody say you are not your children's God. Thank you. And you cannot be their God, but only their father. Reverend, let me quickly ask, sir. Are there times your children have come home to you and say, oh, Daddy, now I feel so like a black child?
Yeah,
Somebody's from school, and it's
I think I can tell about Elizabeth. You have some examples, right? Or you don't?
Oh, with being a black child.
Being a black child. Is that being a black child in a white community? Is that what you mean?
Yes, like they feel like that. I mean, maybe because of their experience with their friends and peers and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You can tell your own. I can tell Elizabeth.
I was just gonna say, I feel like where my sisters and I are very unique is that we all have different experiences of growing up. I've experienced more of a way of colorism in school, of being a dark-skinned black woman. But I understand that in terms of that, I feel like my sister Jackie would relate, because she's grown up in a predominantly white environment and it's influenced her a lot. But that's not really a bad thing. But I think, as we're going to talk about Jackie.
Yeah, because my when we moved, trying to find school, we moved to a location where it's all mostly white. My second daughter, when we registered for the school, I think she was the only black girl in the school, maybe one or two, maybe two of them. And then I remember one day she came back home that they were having a party, but the parents of the girl having a party did say to her that she's not invited because she's black, right? So, and she still talk about the story till today, the effect that has, that because of her color, she's not invited to come to the party. And it was, thank God for her mother, because my wife was born in UK and she was fostered into a white family. And then my wife would tell story about how they will ask whether she has a tail. The day she went, she was so frustrated as a young kid, and she used Izal over her body, trying to become white, because when she was, I'm talking about in the 60s, and how she was given confidence by our foster parents. And so my wife being able to, we haven't gone through all those experiences in the days of no black, no Irish, and no and no dogs. So she has experienced that deeply, and then because of our awareness and education and stuff like that, so it was easy for her to be able to help my daughter to now transit and to understand all of that, so that she's able to know her own identity, who she is, that you might not be white, but what makes you who you are is unique and is special, and you don't want to be what other people are. Now fast forward, last year, guess who my daughter married to a white man. So oftentimes we don't know how this thing will turn out too. So that's why what is key is that even when they have a sense of discrimination or tokenism, we must be able to build back the confidence of their identity, who they are, and what makes them to be special, but not to pity party with them, but to let them know you are more than. So it's very important to build confidence in the children as they are growing up.
Thank you very much, sir. Somebody is asking, is it really hard? I'm in Nigeria, planning to relocate to the United Kingdom. But my fear is every of my friends who have relocated keep saying it is hard to bring up children in the UK. Reverend, is it really
I don't think
hard?
it is. I don't think it is. It's hard. That is not hard. Your pedigree, your background, your orientation, the value system, the association where you live will affect it. Now, if you live in a working community, working class, they call it council estates and all that. There's nothing wrong about those who live there. Just everybody try it before and stuff like that. It will affect it in a way, because the people, see, they always say where you live, the people you engage with, and the book you read will determine your future. So the reason why we relocated into some spaces is that we want our kids to, because where you live, the kids they play with is going to shape what your children become. So it's important to, I'd rather live in one bedroom in a place where the environment, the school my children go to, affects their future than go and live in a 5-bedroom house in a community where there are drug dealers, there are people, the uncle and the auntie they see becomes the model of what they think they can become and their children. It is very clear, children who are brought up in a particular social status class place is different from those who are bring out in there. Now, this is where I talk about intentionality. You can say, oh, 5-bedroom, nice house and whatever in a particular place, but you are hemorrhaging the future of your children. But you can rather live in a place whereby you know the school, the community, the environment over time will shape what your children become. So it's really not difficult if you are intentional, and it's also a function of the friends you choose. When you come into this country from abroad, be careful. Those who you pick as your friends. Some friends are they are visionless, and they are not good example. They are bad role models. So it also depends on the association and community in where you engage your children, right? Can I also say if you're a Christian, it's also dependent on the church you attend. You can attend some church. That church is enough to kill you social status of your children. And I don't say that for any other thing. But there's some church that when you attend, the way it inspires and the kind of people your children meet can actually immediately change the orientation, the status quo, and the future of what your children will become. Do you agree, Liz?
Yeah, I agree. Going to Jesus' house. I remember we would see like all kinds of people in professions, doctors, dentists, lawyers, designers, everyone. There was someone for everyone. Whatever occupation you dreamt of doing, there was someone who had it. And just having that exposure was amazing. It was so inspiring. So I agree with what you're saying. I agree.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, sir. That brings this question, makes this question. Someone wants to know that we find it difficult to find churches in the UK since we arrived, and we have been shopping. That's how they put it. We have been shopping to know the best church to go. But with my children, find it more comfortable in a white Pentecostal church, settling down rather than one of the Nigerian Pentecostal churches.
Yeah.
As a parent, I'm reading it out. As a parent, I find it difficult to fit into Nigeria Pentecostal church here in the UK, but my children find it comfortable in the white Pentecostal church. I am torn apart. What do I do?
No, so the person is saying that she finds it comfortable in
the children.
The children find it comfortable in a white Pentecostal church.
Yes.
Why she finds it difficult in the white Pentecostal church. Now, my advice to you, whoever asked that question, I think you should go in the line of your children, and I'll tell you why. The future is not really you, it's much more of what your children become. The culture, the nuances, the language, all you're gonna be is better you learn it from that environment. And you also need to be smart about it. At the same time, don't forget your culture, your identity, where you come from and what it is. So once in a while, you might need to embrace both to help you find your cultural identity. Now, you don't even need to, there are some churches that are middle class, but they are black Pentecostal middle class. I would not like to mention some of them here, but they're black, but they're as good as a white Pentecostal. Because what I also like to advise people is that do not run away from your people, your identity, and your culture. Don't, right? But why you don't want to run away from your identity and your culture and whatever it is, do not get involved and engage in some set of people from your background that will take you down. So you have to carefully think about what kind of future do I want to project, both for myself and my children, and that will shape the kind of church, because for us Black community here in UK, I would think so. Even when the police or the government trying to curb the gun and knife crime, they were instructed that the best place to get the real authority to curb it is to go to the pastors in churches, that nobody in the community can do it. So I was part of those pastors they put together. So what they are saying is that the church has a powerful influence in how the children turn out to. How can you help us? So that tells you the impact and the power that the church has in influencing our children, right? So in fact, there's some things you can do at home, virtue of your work or training or whatever. If you find a good church, right, it will help you. Can I also say to you, in finding a church, I think it's better to find a church that your children will settle first before you find the one where you will settle. Because if you settle in a church and your children are not settled, you know what you are creating? You are creating a distance for the future. Find the one where they say, Dad, Mom, are we going to church? Can I get that kind of stuff? It will help you for the future.
Thank you.